the smoke-filled clouds of the 303, all the way down to the 505. This is the Dro Show with Remo Vinci, Grimex, and Soul Douja. Yeah, the Dro Show.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Vicious, Remo Vinci, and we are back with episode 28 of the Dro Show.
Damn.
And I'm back as usual. Yep. And I'm back as usual with my fellow Dro Bros, Grimex and Soul Douja. Say what's up, fellas.
What up? Can't believe we're on episode 28. Man.
28.
I remember when I was
back
28.
into the Douja verse.
Douja.
How's
Time
it
to
going,
hit
guys?
these.
Happy
Time to-
Friday the 13th Eve.
Yeah, as we're
Oh, it is
recording
Friday the 13th, huh?
Yeah, as we're recording this, it is the eve of Friday the 13th, but as y'all be peeping it, it comes out on Friday the 13th. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. I know Grim wanted to school us
Yeah.
on some of that. But today, we're actually having to call another audible. We have some really cool stuff planned for y'all today, and Doge was ready to go. But unfortunately...
I'm in my rapper mode because we're going to interview one of the dope Denver artists.
But things tend to fall through sometimes like they do. So we're going to call an audible like we've had to do a few times recently, and we're going to still give you guys a great show and do some cool stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it to Grim real quick because Grim wanted to get into a few little things before we get into the meat of this whole episode. So Grim, my brother.
All right, give us that appetizer.
First thing is that with it being the eve of Friday the 13th, it's not because of it, but it's kind of sad that it happened in this week. You know, I'm a big Darth Vader guy, huge Star Wars guy. Darth Vader is like my favorite character in any type of universe. I mean, the first action figure I was given as a child, it's what I resonate with. But James Earl Jones passed away earlier this week, I believe on Monday, wasn't it?
I'm not sure the day, to be
Monday
honest.
or Tuesday, one of those.
Here, I'm gonna look it up real quick. But
But
so,
yeah,
yeah.
he's
James
he's
Earl
blessed us with
passed
many
away,
movies.
but also yeah. And
I think
the other
most
guy
of
who
the...
was in the suit, I can't think of the guy who played Darth Vader in the suit, but he passed away on as well too. So September 9th is when he passed away.
I know James Earl Jones is actually, like Doge was saying, has given us many classics. Those of us that are, of a similar age, we all grew up with The Lion King and remember him as Mufasa, and he was incredible with that. A little older folks, remember him in Field of Dreams and how awesome he was in that. But I've seen James Earl Jones in movies when he was very young, and he always had that booming voice, that powerful voice, such a strong character. Good personality. From what I understand, he was a really good dude. Pretty sad to hear him passing. I'm gonna miss him. I know, like me, for one, I know Grim. You talk about how you resonate most with his Darth Vader character and all of that. But again, I feel like for some reason, I don't know if it's just because of my age or whatnot, but like all I really hear is Mufasa. You know what I mean? All I really think about is Mufasa for some reason. And what else? For those of
Remo,
us
remember
that are big comedy fans, when he was in Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and he played the king,
yeah.
Zamunda.
Remember when they would say Mufasa on the hyenas? Ooh, say it again. Ooh.
I sure do. But he was King Jafar in Coming to America, and that was also another iconic role that he had too. So he will definitely be missed. Did you have any more you wanted to add to that?
It was David Prowse who played Darth Vader in the suit, the man who passed away November 18th, 2020. He actually was promised that he would get to show his face by the third movie because he was upset that when the first movie came out, because he recorded all his lines. And if you can find any of the behind the scenes footage of it, he is actually saying the lines. David Prowse is. And so when the movie came out, let's just say he was shocked to see that there's another voice over his voice. And so when he was upset about it, they promised him he would be able to show his face by the third movie, and instead they had Sebastian Shaw be Darth Vader in the suit when the mask was removed. So yeah, he definitely got the shit end of the stick on that one. And it's sad for me to see two of the greats that made the character that I resonate the most with passed away. So our hearts and prayers go out to James Earl Jones's family and his friends. Uh, so
Yeah, absolutely. So,
before we get into what we were going to
thank
talk
you.
about,
Go ahead, Grim.
Doge. I think honestly, this part right here is going to be more draft.
You're breaking up, Grim.
Yeah, I just turned the Wi-Fi off since it was acting weird. Is that better?
A lot better.
That
So
Comcast.
I was saying, Doge, this is definitely an episode that's going to be a Doge's conspiracy corner on and this part right here. So, okay, Friday the 13th origins happened on October 13th on 1307. Okay, what led up to all of this is a lot has to do with the church, has to do with King Philip. So, anyways, I think I might have brought this up before in another episode, or maybe even on our episode. What's that called? But the Knights Templars, for those that don't know, it was an order of warrior monks who, according to the myth, were seeking out all the holy relics and the Holy Lands. But during this time, Muslims were attacking Christians, and Christians and Muslims were still warring, and there was no protection. So these knights came up with the name of the poor old knights of the Temple of King Solomon, or the Knights Templar for short. And they would protect Christians on their pilgrimages and stuff through these holy lands from any Muslim attackers. And so, and this is during the time, like, it's so cool because one part of it takes place 400 years prior to the other, and then the last part I think takes place in a 30-year span with Salahuddin. And there's a great movie, The Kingdom of Heaven, that talks about it. So, anyways, I'm not gonna get super detailed into this origin, but the Templars then gain acclaim throughout the lands. Then they began to be supported by the church. Okay, they're supported by the Pope, and the church is backing them. And through this, they're able to create the first banking system, basically, because if you're traveling, then you can give your money to one of the Templar states, and they'll sign you a receipt, and you can take it to where you're going, and they'll give you your money back there, taking 10% off the top. And this way, you don't have to travel with all your funds. And so then they built a lot of wealth and power. King Philip, who had taxed his people so much that they couldn't even afford, they didn't even have silver in their coins. Their coins were so low, and he was keeping all the gold to himself. So people rioted, and twice the Templars had to save him. And at the second time that they saved him, he learned two things. Not only did they have wealth and power, they had something he didn't have: respect. And with that respect, people would follow them and do as they would deem necessary. So he went to the Pope, and he was basically, after having gotten a hold of Jacques de Molay, the Grand Master of the Knights Templar, and 49 of his highest initiates. He tortured them on a torture rack for almost 48 minutes at a time, and made these men confess to all of these atrocities. So then he goes to the Pope and says, I have Jacques de Molay and the 49 of his highest initiates, and they're saying they've been fighting a war and blasphemy. So the Pope signs an overnight orders in secret for an execution of the Knights Templar. Takes place over time after a trial, and they let some of them leave. And Jacques Desmoulins and 100 knights stay behind to defend themselves, and they're ended up executed. And Jacques Desmoulins, he says a curse. Of course, that Pope, he died by being struck by lightning. Everyone involved in that in a negative way died in a negative way. So, anyways, from this point, the Templars, this happened on October 13th, 1307. Okay, so Friday the 13th, which is why it's considered a bad luck day. From that, gave birth to Masonic societies, according to the legend. And that is the part I would say would be related to the Doja's conspiracy corner. It didn't work. Yep, there we go. The Doja verse. So the organizations formed from the Templars. There is one Templar organization still standing in Portugal, because Portugal, which was believed to be port of the Gauls, actually means port of the what the hell is it supposed to mean? I can't remember, but the Gaul means something different, and it's associated to I think of it, the cup,
The
the
chalice.
Holy Grail, the Grail. It's the port of the Grail, is what it's supposed to represent. Okay, and because they protected the knights, and that's why the knights went there. Some of the remaining ones, and were protected by Portugal, and they weren't going to be excommunicated if they were there. That was their safe haven. So, anyways, the other remaining ones ended up becoming known as the Illuminati in Italy, the Freemasons of Scotland, and the Rosicrucians of Germany.
Well, that's pretty interesting, my brother. Thank you for the history and the breakdown right there. That's a lot of information. I hope y'all were able to hold on to some of that. But Friday the 13th has always had, like you said, this negative connotation to it because of the bad luck uh, comparison, or what am I trying to say? How it's attributed to that, I guess, or whatever. So fun fact for me, I actually had two songs come out last year on Friday the 13th. I did kind of like because it was in October when we had a Friday the 13th. So it was pretty neat, and I was trying to make it spooky, so I put out this song called Dankenstein with two of my daughters on it, and it was pretty awesome. So anybody gets a chance to peep out Remo's music, check out Dankenstein. You might like it. But I
After
put
our Funkenstein episode.
all right, no, right. So, do you have any cool Friday the 13th stories or any kind of like little anecdotes, Doge, or are you just gonna keep blowing smoke?
Nah, it's just another day for me, Nah,
I feel
I
it.
don't. I mean, yeah, I might release something on that day, just for. Oh, actually, I am gonna release something that day, just to use the numerology advantage to it.
I see.
So, since we are on the subject of Friday the 13th, I would like to mention the fact that in the first Friday the 13th movie, okay, Kevin Bacon's in it, by the way, for those that don't remember. Um, the mother was the killer in that movie. Most people associate those movies to Jason Voorhees, and that him being the killer, which he is from the second one moving forward. But he does that because he basically comes back from the dead when they killed his mother, and he comes back for revenge since they got rid of his mom. Just wanted to throw that out there because there's a lot of people who think that Jason Voorhees is the only killer in that. Um,
Well, thank you.
Shout out Kane
Back
Hodder, who played Jason more than any other actor in history.
See, this
Oh,
is what
fuck.
happens when you call an audible. Is we have a show about everything. We're
No,
doing our interview, we're doing our
Hey,
movies, we're doing our music, we're doing everything all in one.
so
hey, check this.
fun fact is that fucking when I was in college, okay, and one of my exes made me get rid of it, but I had the mold, the mask mold, because I had a friend who worked at a mask shop that I met in college. He actually sculpted fucking uh the clown's mask from Slipknot, Sean Kranz, for the Halloween store, right? And he knew the guy who did Corey Taylor, so he gave it to me. But he also gave me the original cast for the Jason mask from Friday the 13th Part 6. dude. And I freaking had this plaster fucking thing for the Jason mask. Even had it written on marker in the back and shit. That, yeah, one of my exes made me throw it away, but I did have one of those. It was pretty sick. Had the holes in it and everything, so when you put the plastic on it and the holes would just put the latex in there, and that shit would hold it on the plaster, so that way that it would mold into the shape of the mask.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
You know what? You know whose hole got screwed on that one by throwing it away. Hey, I was gonna say, Remo. Uh, I realized the other night because I was talking about it earlier with you guys, but I'll just kind of sum it up real quick. But when I got the idea to videotape and like my reaction to the debate and shit going on, I was like, fuck. It was literally like last minute thing, but that's me. That's us. That's what we do. We like, I like to call it kind of like a freestyle because we just do shit on the fly. But all three of us are like that. Even with today's show, we had a different plan for it today, and then it went another way. But, that's how we do it. We just tuck and roll, get going, homeboy.
And you know what? With that being said, I think that's the perfect segue to get into what the meat of our episode is going to be about. Because when all else fails, when you can't control what's happening around you, all you could do is roll with the punches and be grateful for what is. So I think this is a great time to take a little quick Droman of the week, and then we could get into our whole episode that we're going to be doing on gratitude. So let's do this.
All
Damn,
right, so
ready or not, Doge? Fuck.
Cool,
So-
I'll start. So I got some Tandy Haze still, and I'm messing with the flower Hazeberry Dream this week.
Hazeberry Dream. What you got there, Doge?
I'm gonna smoke this gelato. Wait, how do I make it that way? Gelato. Hey, but look, here's the funny part, Remo. I was reading it, and it's made with fuck. It says Nana hands.
Oh shit! I heard
take
of
a. I'll,
I heard of
I'll
pee
take.
fingers, but Nana hands. That's fucking
Yeah,
funny. Bro.
yeah. It's all premium, no shake, no trim, roll made with Nana hands.
In the
It,
couch.
it sounds
So
like
it's
a condom.
so it should be was pretty good. Yeah. Tastes like some good Nana.
Well, damn. I don't know how I could compete with that, but I'm still fucking with my same old cereal milk and the Gush mints. So no, not for me.
Plus, I'm still dabbing my pink Kush dabs, which is fucking that bong rip cape kicked in my chest just now. Damn.
Well, let's do it again. Y'all ready?
Yep. Entering the Doja verse.
Hey, you know what I need to do? Uh, um, we need something what we do with our hands or when we're hitting the joint. Weed leaves come down.
Fire it up. Fire it up.
And that has been the Dromant of the week.
And when we do our droments, people, that's your guys' time too. That if you're watching or listening, you should be lighting up with us too. Just
Now,
kidding.
it is a communal thing, so.
Mm-mm. That's
All
why
right,
we are all dro bros.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Doge. And thank you for saying that, Doge, because that leads me right on into how I want to start this here. Um, Graham had suggested that, we could all use a little bit more gratitude in our lives and expressing it, sharing it with each other, those kind of things. I think it's real cool that you just said about us being the Dro Bros and how you emphasize that because, for one of the things that I am most grateful for is this show and you guys. I don't want to say like most grateful for in my life in general, because obviously, my kids and my family and those kind of things always come first before everything. But I want to tell you guys that this show and having you guys there as like this constant has been pretty awesome in my life, bro. And I'm very grateful for that. Rain or shine, even though we've had to do a whole lot of audibles, you know, we've always kind of came through and we've been consistent. And here we are, 28 weeks deep, 29 weeks deep actually, but we did have to miss a show one week. So
Hey,
you know, we're doing pretty good, man, and I'm grateful for you guys. So
hey, this is my longest commitment relationship I've been in for the last 10 years.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for this show too because I tried a few other times, you know what I mean, to get shows off the ground. And, you know, one went almost 16 weeks, but at the same time, for whatever reasons, the shows didn't work out. I definitely feel that there's a lot better chemistry on this show than in previous shows I've been on. Obviously, we've all grown up together, known each other for a long time. So,
that definitely helps. That definitely helps. But you know, like I was saying, you know, as far as like the therapeutic thing goes, like I look forward to this, guys, every week. You know what I'm saying? Even and there have been times, I can't lie to you, there have been times where I'm like, oh shit, we got to do the show, and I'm kind of like getting a little bit of anxiety and getting a little bit stressed out over things. But like once we get rolling and once we get started, bro, all that shit kind of like goes away, and I'm just kicking it with my brothers. You know what I mean? And I love that. That's fun. I'm sad that we didn't start doing this sooner, but I'm glad we're doing it now.
and
Hey,
it,
I
truth be
feel like
told,
we all like put our cocks in the game, and like we birthed like all this like 700 7-headed monster out, like, and like there's all this shit this unraveling with, because the Dro Bros is like the start of, then there's hot tag, what's that called, and that's just a couple, you know what I mean, like there's a lot of other ones that are into play, and I think that's what's kind of funny about it, because even when I recorded the thing, and I'm like, well, I can't put that on Everyday Extraordinaire, which is like another one I'm starting, and I'm like, well, I can't, I'm not, it's really not a Dro Bro thing. And I'm like, well, but I said, I say some fucked up stuff and it's kind of controversial. That's for what's that called? That's what that platform's for, like, because I called out shit like too, like you could see her neck, like it looked
yeah,
like a reptile, like, I was like, fucking demons on TV.
he
But
does.
like,
He does.
but
Yikes.
I don't want. I already talked about that shit. But nah,
Yeah.
it's fun. But I want to get more people involved, like more homies and shit. But we try, we reach out, we do what we can. If we've had people on, some
Yeah.
not yet. But hopefully soon. Or
Yeah. Hopefully some of
or
you guys
whenever.
out there. Go ahead. Oh, well, I was
Because
gonna say, hopefully, you know, some of you guys out there, if you're listening, you know, if you're homies and you know that we're trying to get at you for an interview or get at you for a little guest spot, hook some brothers up because we need them. You know what I mean? We're always trying to talk to interesting people about cool stuff and whatever may be happening. So, you know, get at us when you got some shit going on and we could help you promote it on the show or whatever it may be. But you know, it is cool how this is kind of like how it blossomed, you know what I mean? Like with just the seed of the Dro Bros, and then now it's like this whole garden of
Well, truth be told, what actually gave birth to all of this is the
mushrooms.
precursor to what eventually became the hot tag, because freaking Remo had really tried to push me almost 20 years ago into this. And I was the pessimist who didn't think we had anything good to offer. And probably had I been more positive and optimistic, we might be a bigger show at this point. There might be a lot more going on. It might have been a different path. But again, I am
all is
grateful
well,
that
my
things
brother.
worked out,
Yep, all is well.
you know,
All is
grateful
as
though.
it should be. You know, and you're right, bro. Like it did start with like a collab. Like I had this idea of the collaboration effort. You know what I mean, as far as the wrestling show goes, and really cover however we wanted to, historically or week to week, like or whatever the format may be. I knew we could contribute somehow to that type of a medium. But like you know, the interviews is what started it for me, bro. Like just getting people's stories, people that inspired me, and it all started with Leo the G. I mean, I'm sure you guys, if you've been subscribers or listeners for a while, I'm sure you've seen, you know, the very first episode of they were called the Vicious Interviews at the time, but we rebranded as the Remo Show, was Leo the G. And I got his last interview, I think, that he ever did. And that was just such an impactful thing for me. I actually followed this guy's story for a while, you know, on social media, and just saw the types of trials and tribulations he was going through.
Uh,
And like something about that whole story just made me want to talk to him. It made me want to give him the ability, or the opportunity, I should say, to just say whatever and tell his story on something. And I just wanted to give him that and listen. I hadn't really had much contact with him, you know, very little bit of contact before we actually hooked up. And I remember he wasn't even really doing that great that day. He wasn't feeling very well that day. And he was still gracious enough to give me, I'm sure he would have gave me
well,
all the time I wanted. You know what I mean? But
eh,
he, like, I felt guilty, bro, and I actually made it a shorter episode. You know, I mean, it was the very first one, so I didn't really have a format or an idea or anything to how I was going to do it. But I think it had only turned out to be like a half hour. I mean, we'd have to go back and look and see. It's the very first episode on the Remo show, or the Vicious Interviews playlist there on the YouTube channel. So check it out, y'all. Give Leo some love, because he definitely was an
hey,
amazing dude. Great music. So check him out.
I want for those you don't know too, like yeah, Lilo was really supportive with like music and shit. He used to like we'd comment back and forth on stuff that I would post up, he'd post up, and poor guy, he was like dying. Like I don't like to use the word dying, but he from he had multiple like problems, health problems with him, and it was amazing that he was alive. I was like when he told me all this stuff, I said, "Whoa, how are you still going, bro? Like that's amazing, you know."
Yeah, bro. That one always, that one's really tough for me. You know what I mean? Even as I was talking to him, it was tough for me, just because I just I felt his. You know, we're talking about gratitude, and I felt Leo's gratitude, and I felt like how special everything was to him. You know, and like uh obviously, you know, when you're in a position like that, you tend to look at life differently, and you tend to value things a little differently. And the value that Leo had in the world around him as he was fading away from it was just beautiful. And it
Yeah,
was very inspiring.
I'm
right. Yeah.
grateful that you guys said that, but what's wrong with doing it now? You know what I mean? And see, so I'm also grateful for the things that you were grateful for in your interviews. And I would like to say that to any of our guests out there, that is the point of it. We want your stories. We think you're all phenomenal. Okay. Every one of you out there, our viewers, everyone. To us, this is special, and the reason why I say this is because in the state of gratitude, okay, is that I feel that I wanted to bring it back. I've said it before, you know, that I want us to be like there. You guys inspire us. People inspired us. That's why we wanted to have guests on here, because there's things that you do that are inspirational. And I mean, even if it's the smallest thing, those things are important. And never let that bring you down. And the reason why I say this, you know, I brought it up before. Joe Dispenza talks about, you know, being that grateful, gratitude in the moment, right? And I'm asking, like, why can't we be now? Ask yourself that. Like, what are the things in your life that are holding you back? And that's why I kind of suggested this episode of gratitude, because I feel like we could all use that little bit of positivity in our life. And that by saying the things in our lives that we're grateful for. So, gratitude is the expression of appreciation for what one has. When we understand that and we're happy for what we have, okay, then we're not concentrating on the things that separate us and make us think separate, okay? Thinking separate of ourselves and thinking that way, that's what causes us to then distance ourselves from everything, to shut things out. And then we are more likely to harm other things, because then we're not understanding harming outside of ourselves is harming us, right? And it's a very hard thing to do. Very hard thing to do. That's why metaphysical knowledge is the highest attainable knowledge in this physical realm. But when we concentrate on these lower vibrational things, physical matter, okay, all these things, and you focus on it, focusing on that lowest vibration is what causes you to feel separate. And then when we feel separate, that's when we're in survival mode. And in that survival mode, we're more likely to hurt ourselves or hurt others.
Yeah, absolutely.
I uh we stay in survival mode. Fuck, we're bombarded left and right.
I feel like society in general kind of has most of us in fight or flight. You know what I mean? Most
uh,
of the time. But all the more reason to remember those things that you are grateful for and to not take them for granted. You know what I mean? And that's to me that's the hardest thing in life to do. um Maybe not the hardest thing in life, but it's definitely up there, you know, because I have definitely been somebody that has taken a lot of things for granted. You know what I mean? You can only realize that kind of stuff in retrospect, you know. And then you have this understanding of what gratitude actually is. You know what I mean? Because you see all of these areas in your life where the Lord or the higher power or the source or whatever you want to say has blessed you in many ways in your life. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's easy to get stuck in the mundane routine of things and to lose
uh,
sight of a lot of those blessings and a lot of the craziness. And a lot of times too, you know, life gets heavy and it becomes like burdensome, and it's hard to see that. It's hard to see past the burdensomeness sometimes to remember all of those wonderful things that you're grateful for. You know what I mean? So it's important with this whole mindfulness and being in the moment that you were talking about earlier, Grim. It's important to try to maintain a practice of that, an active practice of that in real time, which is for me right now. You know what I mean? I'm like really trying to understand how that works and how to do that, because in real time, I'm somebody that is typically more emotional and reactive. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that causes a big disconnect when it comes to what the gratitude should be. You know, because I will get it to more of a negative vibe than what it should
hey,
be.
hey, real quick before I forget, because you touched on the negative. So I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it's I believe it was either the Confessionals or Mystic Mark, one of the two. But they're explaining like negative like thoughts and like there he was explaining like how the demons work with possessions and shit. And he's like
Oh
there's
yeah, I've heard that before.
he said there's like multiple types of possessions and stuff, but even like the negative thoughts and everything, that's demons, you know, like you know, like getting at you and like trying to like basically possess you and stuff. And the guy was like, yeah, so like I, you know, I think about that too because I'm like I have, man, my if you guys listen to my music, my thoughts are fucking out there, and that's just what I put on my music, you know, like, but I'm like you know that makes a lot of sense because like you could like I've been to like walk into a certain room or something and just instantly like kind of get in a bad mood and like you know like and I'm just like and then I'd be checking myself now because I'm badass. I don't let them demons fuck with me, homeboy. Come.
So this
I
is
think,
exactly what I've talked to both of you in private about, you
yeah.
know, and I want to say I am grateful for the opportunity and ability to be able to do this and discuss this with you, to grow with you guys, and to be able to grow myself. And the reason why I say this is because with those, okay, that is around you, but we have to go out and test the waters, okay? It's not enough to be in seclusion, to meditate, to put yourself at a peace of mind, because of course you can. You're yourself. You'll be at peace with yourself. But to go out in the world that tests you, that pushes you to your limits, that's where
But
you have the ability to test what level you've reached and attained. And you can see from an observational perspective where you need to correct yourself and what you need to work on. And then when you go into your solitude, then you have an idea of what type of work to do.
Yeah, I
but
agree. But Doge, I wanted to touch on what you were saying about these demons for a second because I've been actually looking into some of this and reading some of this, and I actually had some prayers done recently. But this demon or like the devil having control over you can show up and manifest in so many different ways, bro. And it can really come at you in the most
nope.
unexpected times or situations. You know what I mean? It's very easy, I think, to get lost in the moment and to lose sight of a lot of those things, a lot of your direction, you know, because there's constant distractions, bro, in life,
Hey,
constant
yeah.
distractions and things that are supposed to that are trying to throw you off course. And bro, it's easy to fall into that because what is the enemy supposed to tempt you with? Everything that you want and everything that looks flashy and great and all of these wonderful things, you know what I mean? That looks like everything that you're hoping it would look like. But at the end of the day, bro, there's no substance. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not getting that divine stuff. You know what I mean? And it's a whole different situation. So it's
So
important, bro, to try to recognize. This is what I was told just the other day. It's important to recognize where the root of whatever it is that you're being presented with would be coming from. And if it comes from a place of love, then you know it's from God. Then you know that that's a good spirit. That's a good situation. You know what I'm saying? But if the root of it has some kind of like sin involved or some kind of craziness, I know we're not on our spiritual journey show or anything like that. So I'm not trying to get preachy with y'all, but like it's if it has anything like that, then you know that God wouldn't try to have that be the course of it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to recognize and you have to see, what does this do for you? And trust me, bro, like when I'm saying these things, I'm saying a lot of it to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I am by no means somebody that is further along or somebody that's got it together and like I'm speaking like I know all this shit as if I'm an expert or something. This is shit I'm just trying to pick up as I go as well. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to feel it with y'all. You know what I mean? I'm
uh,
trying like Grim was
hey,
saying, like I'm grateful for the journey with y'all too. You know what I mean? Because we all kind of help each other level up. And that's what's important. You know, we need that community, like we talked about on past episodes. It's that village.
hey, Grim. You think you're cool over there with your sage sticks, homeboy?
no, so I was gonna ask, do you guys know what these are? And as you can see, they've been used. This is sage, and this one is Palo Santo, the holy wood, right, from Peru. And both of them used in more religious rituals. Okay, and this one actually, I use this every time, and this is my second one now out of the batch. But every time we go to a room, anywhere we stay at a hotel, anything, I use this to bless the room. Right, I use it to
Oh,
bless the whole area and take away, because I mean you're entering into somewhere that this isn't your space. So
yeah,
first, I
that's a good
always
idea.
bless these areas. I get it, because I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for Source, the opportunity to be alive, to experience, no matter how good, no matter how bad. Okay, I'm grateful for that, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the man I am today. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't understand the things I do today. Um,
I,
we have to be grateful for everything, good or bad, because you wouldn't love as much as you love. You wouldn't know good as much as you do if it wasn't for the negative things in your life. If it wasn't for pain, if it wasn't for sorrow and all of these negative emotions, they also bring the good out of us. So that's what we have to be ideally grateful for. And oh, that's why it wasn't loading. I was trying to bring up YouTube to search to see how long your interview was, but it wasn't loading. But anyways,
whose interview?
touching
The
on the demons thing real quick,
the
since you
The
guys
Leo the G.
Oh,
both did. Um,
I think it's like 37 minutes.
we
For
Hey, dude, if I'm right about that, I'll be like, fuck. Hey, but I was gonna tell you, cause I got sages, I got freaking I got the crystal water bottles, so you could charge the crystals and shit. Fucking but this is something that I've been trying to get people on for a while. I've been on it for like 7, 8 years now. But I have fucking essential oil organic soaps, and they're made by a Native American lady. It's actually my homeboy Jay Swerve's mom, and she charges them with frequencies and shit and her energy, and she puts all kinds of like stuff into them. And it's a her website's like Fall River Botanicals. Like I'll send you guys a link and shit. But
So
You have to
I buy
definitely.
those too at Idaho Springs for our listeners that are here in Colorado, and
Oh,
they're
that's where she started up there.
so $4 for a freaking bag of just the sliced ends, so that you know that they make it. Um, they said they make everything in house, and then uh, each of the different soaps, depending on what scent you're looking for, what they're made of, they vary in price. They have different mixtures. All of it's all natural, badass. They last a
That
long time. I love
she
them.
was, hey, she was there before those people that were there. And then what happened was she felt like they stole her stuff, and then they opened her store, and then she moved down back down here to Albuquerque where all her family's at. But I'm gonna have to send you some of these ones. I'll hook you guys up.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
But that's a funny thing. Since why I brought it up is like our skin absorbs like so much stuff and like so many chemicals. It's just it could go on. We can make tons of well, I am gonna make tons
Oh,
of episodes about it. But like like all that stuff gets absorbed and we don't even with the negativity, like there's a physical and there's this, like energy level too, like and that we're just getting bombarded. It's pretty wild.
so I think we should get into it here because that's what this show is about right here is gratitude. So you're 70 to 80% water. Okay. Water absorbs energy. It absorbs vibration. It absorbs all of that. So then when you're around negativity or positive or anything like that, that's what you're going to reflect. Okay. When we're drinking these waters out of the tubes that are straight angled curves, right? Basically, R wording and destroying and forcing and doing all these negative things to the water, then we flush it out with chemicals and stuff. And you drink that water out of your sink. You think that water you're putting into is good? Do you think that water is putting good energy into? At that point, that's dead water. So living water, stuff I've been talking to you about in private, Remo, with the sulfaggio frequencies. So there's a Dr. Imato, I can't remember he did the test with the water, right? And he also froze it. But what he did is in one room, he he would tell the water that he loved it every day. Another room, he would ignore it. In the other room, he would say, I hate you. And he would freeze the water. The ones he let sit, he did these various tests, and it affected the water in different ways. So when the normal rooms, the water was pure, looked like it was good. He tasted it, it tasted good in the room that he said, I love you to. The room that he completely ignored, it turned to this black mold all over in the water, right? So like saying how much like if you think about a human being, if you ignore them, think about the way that their mind would rot and just fucking turn into a tangled mess, right? And then the one that he said, I hate you to became like this black oozing blob shit, right? And
like
then when he
venom.
froze them, the the one that he says I love you to, it formed this beautiful snowflake, right? And the other ones, they don't form um, geometric shapes. They form these nasty, ugly patterns, right? And so what I'm saying is that what I used to do too, since you're bringing up the soaps and things like that, I stopped doing it for a while because I wanted to get the crystal bottles like you have. But what I would do in my water bottles, since I know that I can't guarantee if the water in it's good water or dead water or whatever, I would write on there, happy, healthy, wealthy. I'm grateful for this. And every day I would put different things. I put four things on the water bottle every day, every day. That way, when I'm drinking it, that's what I'm drinking. It's what's the energy I put in it. Now, there's a thing they've done with the sulfaggio frequencies. Okay, Remo, and this is more on biogeometry with Dr. Ibrahim Karim. He used a pendulum to reprogram the frequency back to the core energy. So, like we're talking about, everything's energy and frequency, right? So, the energy of our spirit, it's a negative green energy known as BG3 energy. And in this energy, right, we have a Merkaba, a Merkaba. It's you have a toroidal field that is a hyperbole. It's an hourglass shape that comes out of our chest and forms our bubble around us. That's why when people enter, you're like, oh, you're in my bubble. You can feel that because we admit here we're putting out into the world what we receive, but everything exits out of our back, right? So in meditation manifesting, you'll experience back pain because you're pulling all this energy in, but then it has to release somewhere, so it's coming out of your back. Okay. So what he
Hey,
did is he reprogrammed.
is that why my lower back's always hurting? Fuck.
I
Well,
was
he
thinking the same thing.
reprogrammed. So then this is stuff you can look up. Dr. Ibrahim Kareem, for those that want to know.
Hey, but
Dr. Robert Gilbert teaches his stuff too. He's also
th-
one of the most mentioned teachers of Rosicrucianism in the world. But Dr. Ibrahim Kareem, he reprogrammed the water in the Dead Sea. He grew potatoes, yams, and other crops there using the salt water by using the way of the pattern of how the water went and the resonance that he had around it changed the water even from the Dead Sea. And it's called the Dead Sea because nothing can grow there because there's such a high salt content. But turning that water into something that could be usable to create life, and he grew bigger yams and potatoes and stuff that you could use with natural water. Now, going a step further, there's what's called the Hamburg incident, and you could look this up too. He went into Switzerland, or I think it was Switzerland, I believe. But anyways, it was in no, I can't remember, but it's Hamburg. It's Germany. I don't remember, but Hamburg is
I think Hamburg is Germany.
yeah. So what they did is put a 5G tower there. People were starting to go crazy, starting to get angry. Like the negative energy was affecting the town, and people wanted to go there and literally freaking armed and destroy this tower. And the government didn't know what to do, so they asked Dr. Ibrahim Kareem to help them. So what he did, because of biogeometry, and he won this award at the I can't remember what conference it was, but it was the Hep C convention. And what every doctor was tasked with is to use whatever knowledge they had to try to suppress the virus or kill it. They asked him if he could use biogeometry to kill the virus. He says, I won't use it to kill anything. What I will do is I'll use it to suppress the virus to where it's non-existent, basically. And so through mapping out when you breathe, okay, you're like in an engine, okay? The energy has to go into the source, and the way that it goes into the source is what makes it combustible energy. So when you suck in this oxygen, it goes into your lungs like a tree branch. Have you noticed that? Like a tree, everything is modeled out of life, okay? Everything are the thought patterns of the source of God, the mind, the source, whatever you want to call. Everything comes from source, okay, from one. So all life models each other. Why do you think our vascular system looks like that of the roots? Okay. So you take in oxygen, it goes in our body in a certain way that breaks it down into different energy, the way that we eat, the way that we drink, all of that. It's in the way that your body was designed perfectly, mind you, perfectly to take in all of these nutrients and disperse it the way that it's meant to be. Now, the purpose of this, okay, this whole discussion is that he took that and mapped out the organs and stuff that are affected by the Hep C. He put those different types of symbols on bracelets, and those who were wearing the bracelets showed no signs or had no contamination to other patients while wearing the bracelets. He won an award for it. So now they brought him into Hamburg, okay? He fucking carved out in the ground a shape to create positive energy from that 5G tower. And after he was finished there, it changed the whole attitude of the entire city. So I'm
Wow.
saying this stuff works, okay? And your water, you're gonna absorb it. It resonates with you. And that's why I suggested this episode on gratitude, because I feel like not just us as a team, you as the viewers, everyone out there, we need this in our lives.
I love that.
Ghostbusters.
I
Two.
love that you say that like that, Grim, because one of the podcasts I've mentioned before on the show that I'm a fan of is that Chris Van Vliet show. And every episode that he does, every interview that he does, he ends it the same way, where he asks his interviewee for three things that they're grateful for, because he talks about how gratitude is such an important part of his life. And he starts and ends every day saying out loud three things that he's grateful for. So that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And I like that that you had that idea today, and that we're being able to express some of that because it's pretty cool.
I definitely like the way the show's going right now. I feel like there's a lot of involvement and then a lot of good storytelling. I feel.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Right.
Doge, what's something else that you're grateful for, my brother?
Um, that my health, that my one thing that like really kicks me in the ass, like when people say I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time for this. And I'm like, you got to make time for yourself. Like, if you have two legs, two arms that work, like a back that works, there's all kinds of handicap and there's like people with health issues that can't go and do stuff like that. So I'm grateful that I physically can do stuff like that. Mentally, it's extremely hard to do because them demons be fucking talking when I'm trying to work them out. And I say this, exercise the demon, Lord, exercise the demon.
I'm glad that you brought up your health though, because I know that you have worked really hard, Doge, and you've gotten to where you're
Yep.
at by a lot of fucking effort. You know what I'm saying? So I understand your gratitude towards that, and like I told you before, it has inspired me, and I've also been on somewhat of a fitness journey of my own. So thank you for that, and I'm very grateful for that as well, because that the inspiration that you gave me is invaluable.
I'm
Hey, it was
grateful for your work too. I'm
yeah.
very proud of you as well. I knew the old you, knew how you were. So to see you in the way that you are now, definitely very proud to see where you've come and very grateful.
Hey,
Yep.
hey, um, s- s- uh, what you were saying, Remo, like you said, I'm doing a little bit, and Steph put this like she put a long paragraph, but in there she said it's the small steps that count, and it kind of clicked in my head because I just like kind of went through like a timeline of when I started like everything because that's what it was. I just was like, all right, let's try half an hour. Okay, let's try an hour. Now I'd be like, all right, I'm trying to awaken the God in mode in me and fucking become like Hercules and shit. Like I'm like a savage now. Like I fucking get down on the bag and stuff, and I try I try to break my way I feel now is like I try to break my whole body down, and then it comes back, and I'm like feel so good. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to battle demons.
Hell yeah, those.
So
Hell yeah. And
I'm
with that, I
grateful.
think I'll take another one of these.
I'm grateful for my family, my wife and kids, and just as human beings, okay? Like we all said, none of us are perfect. And so I'm grateful for the experience of every day being able to learn. And it's a learning process. So, I mean, every day for myself, okay, you go through experiences. But even in those moments where it seems like it's worst or you're upset or you're angry or whatever, I'm thankful for those moments because every moment of uncomfortability is a moment of me growing and changing. No matter how I feel, it's what's happening, and that's for me, that's the one thing I have to find out of everything, okay? Everything. And no matter how much it sucks, I always have to ask myself, what is the purpose for me to go through this? What am I learning? What am I to gain from this? And I have to look at it that way because otherwise, I mean, it's easy. We're human beings, okay? It's so easy to get dragged down to the ground and be held down and fucking not get back up. It's so easy. So I guess that's my proactive way of trying to combat that part,
I love
of
that.
where you want to shut down and stuff. I always try to find what am I learning? What am I gaining? No matter what.
I love that, Grim. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, my brother. That's good stuff. And again, man, like I'm grateful that you had the idea of a gratitude episode. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, especially right now, for whatever reason, bro, it seems like the world seems to be in a bit more extra turmoil these last couple weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? The
Weeks?
last couple months. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Months?
Years, dude, since
But
the COVID
don't you?
pandemic.
Hey, the way I
I don't.
feel,
I
the
feel like for whatever reason, it's been like extremely heightened. Like seriously, within the last few months, and I don't know. I don't know what it is, bro. Like in a lot of people around me too. A lot of people that I'm close with and stuff are really having some serious trials in their lives. You know what I mean? So it's a trip right now, dog. It's a lot of heaviness. So to have some gratitude in those times of heaviness is very, very essential. You know what I mean? It's completely necessary.
Be the
So
light. Because what happens when light enters into a room full of darkness, darkness flees. So don't ever snuff out your light.
love that. Love that. Thank you, Graham.
well, hey, how do you step out of it when the light is within?
See, that's the goal, isn't it? To illuminate the whole world with our light. And then that is what I
Illuminati.
had to learn for an evangelist is that you can't change people. You're not God. You're not a savior. You can't save anybody. You're just to go
No.
out and lead by example. And by that example is when people then want to see what is it that that person's about? What are they? What makes them different? Why do they think that way? And then that's how you bring them into, you know,
Yep.
a more loving
No.
light, I would say.
Well,
And
you
I
have
and
to.
I feel like
Oh,
my bad, Doge. I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say that feels like what takes me into like the next thing that I feel like I'm grateful for. You talked about, your wife and your family and all of that. I feel like mine is a little bit more general, I guess, in that way, to where I'm grateful for all of the relationships, bro. All of the relationships that I've been able to build or cultivate or be blessed with. Whether they're from like family or friends or complete strangers, you know what I mean? I've been blessed, bro, to have so many positive, sweet, genuine interactions, bro, with people that have just really impacted me and changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Like things that will always stick with me. From people that we've lost or people that I see every day. You know what I mean? I've had very, very specific, beautiful interactions, bro. And those interactions and those relationships have really helped shape me to be who I am these days. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful for that. Those relationships have all really guided me in dark times and in light times. You know what I mean? Because when you have that village like we talked about before, the village in theory, in how we would like life to be, the village would be this loving village, right, where everything is coming from love in every person in every direction. And in that type of a situation, bro, they only want to see growth and they only want to see people getting bigger and better and stronger. You know what I mean? And those kind of people that are there for you like that are important. They're important for you. You know what I mean? In your life. So it's pretty cool stuff, bro. Those relationships are powerful and important. And everybody that listens, that I have one of those relationships with, thank you. And I love you. And I'm very appreciative for you. And I hope that I can make you proud with my end of our relationship as well.
Same.
I said same.
Well, we're coming up on an hour, y'all. You want to get into some more of this, or you
Yeah,
guys got a little extra thing you want to get into, Graham?
of course. So again, I'm grateful for this episode. I'm grateful for the ability to wake up every morning to experience life. I'm grateful to go to work. These aren't things I absolutely enjoy, but I find something to be grateful for in it. Okay. Like I get it, work's stressful. And so for me, every time you're focused so intently on something, like focused on it, you're becoming more anxious and you're getting more stressed out. So for me, I'm operating a machine, and every time I have to splice in and change out, when I turn around to grab any material, I make sure to do a full 360 of my environment. That way, that I'm widening my perspective. They teach that in the military as well. When you widen your perspective, it calms you, right? So if you're just staring at something intently, but you step back, that's why they say with computers, every 15 minutes, stare away for 30 seconds to a minute, because you're just going to stress yourself out, right? You need to widen your perspective. So, um, also other things, that I do at work is that I go outside on my breaks, right? And if I'm not calling you guys or whatever, I honestly I sit there, I listen to the sounds. I just listen to the vibration. I feel the resonance. I smell the air. I look at the dirt, dude. I look for crystals on the ground. I just look at the little things that nature forms, right? You even look at the building across the way and stuff. And I just think about all these things because it's so beautiful that thought, thought created all of this. Okay. Source, God, it's thought. Then we're here. Okay. All of this environment, every creation came from a thought, every single thing. And it's so crazy to me. And I just sit there and I resonate. And I don't know, that's what helps me to have gratefulness through my trials. And I get down sometimes too. We're humans, right? But for me to try to pull myself out, I try to find something. It may take me a minute. We all do. Sometimes you have to resonate in what that negativity is, because you have to understand why you're there, why you feel that way. And that way you understand what you don't want to do anymore. And it does take a minute to pull yourself out.
And you know what, bro? Like, we were giving Doge props a minute ago about like his journey and his growth and all that. And I want to tell you the same thing, bro. Like you and your journey and you being brave enough to take the directions that you've had to go through, and how you've been able to share that, and how it's been a source of light from you. You know what I mean? Has been invaluable as well, dog. I need to tell you, like, there's been many times where I have needed your opinion or your just any kind of vibe that I get from you, dog, for a long time now has been very positive and very like genuine and intentional. You know what I'm saying? And I've always appreciated that, bro. So I know your journey, like we talked about in the episodes we did with you on the Remo show, has taken you in a lot of places, and you had a lot of things that you had to work through yourself. And to see how powerful a lot of these changes have been in you is also very inspiring, bro. So thank you for being brave enough. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you being able to be brave enough to take the journey that you took, to be able to share it with us, and to be a part of my journey. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, dude. And I'm grateful for you in my life as well, dude. You've helped me so much too. You're my shoulder to lean on as well. And you guys, the show, everything. But I just want to say, as far as all of that and doing that, my journey is to try to really bring myself to be one with my spirit. Okay. Like, I don't want to continue to live my life as a dual entity, right? I don't want to be a spirit and a physical being that are always fighting each other. I want to be where that higher spiritual essence that is puppeting this body, that is in this receiver, that has taken it like radio waves, right? I don't want these to be two separate things, because, even when I look in the camera, when I'm looking in the mirror, I can see the animal, okay, that this body is still like a physical animal. And this higher spiritual presence that occupies this animal gives me this consciousness. It gives me a heart. It gives me the ability to have a perspective, to, form, but I have to be conscious. Okay. Falling asleep, then I become this animal that I can see in the mirror. And that's the hardest part, is trying to avoid being that animal.
Bro, that is fucking huge right there. That whole thing you
That's
just said right there.
I
that,
can't even tell you,
that
dude. Like, when I look in the mirror, I swear to you, like, I swear, it's hard for me to look at my own eyes, because when I do,
that's because
I can see a different being. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking back at you, it's so weird.
you
I
have
do
to
feel
work. You got to work out that animal. That Joe Rogan talked about that shit on his podcast. Like, he was saying that's the most important things. Like, men are meant to be working out and doing like brutal shit. Like back in the day, caveman going out chopping wood down, getting shit for the fire. You know, like we're not meant to be weak and shit like that. So like you got to work that animal out. Cause I feel that shit when I'm up in there and I'm getting going. I'll be growling and everything. I use that motherfucker. I control him now. Showed him who's boss.
So I may not work out as much as you guys do, but like when we go camping and stuff, I'll get the wood or whatever, do all that. Me and Gio, we wrestle. When we go walking and he's riding his bike, I run with him. You know what I mean? And no matter how tired I am, I try to push myself. Even like the other night at the park, I wanted to run him down to get him tired, so I ran with him. I'm chasing him around, and yeah, I'm exhausted and shit. And you worked all day and stuff, but I want to push myself too because I don't want to allow myself to become weak and complacent.
I
Yeah,
love that, bro. And you've always been in great shape, bro. You know what I mean? So like I'm glad that you're able to do all that. But me,
Thank you.
dog, like I'm not nearly like you said, work like you guys work out. Like Doge, that motherfucker, he's on a mission. I'm like I said, man, I'm just barely getting started, bro. I'm trying. I'm getting there. I'm trying. And I honestly I am feeling better. There's been some cool things. Like I've been doing this bike thing for a while now, bro. So that's been nice. You know what I mean? And it's felt
Hey,
good. But unfortunately, I have picked back up a old habit that I'm trying to drop right back again because them damn cigarettes are disgusting. They're
oh,
disgusting.
bud. Hmm.
I know it.
no, but
I know it.
David Goggins,
This
and I
this is
know
what I
Doja.
use. This
I
is
I
how
know
I.
know
how like
Doja
I
will.
be toad all day
The
long and
fuck?
shit.
I didn't even put my thumbs up, bro. What the fuck?
It's
So
all bad.
David Goggins, Remo, you should listen to his story, dude. This guy. Okay, look, check this out.
Hey, wait. You gotta
Fucking
give him a shout out so we can clip it and
yeah.
send it.
Shout out David Goggins. Shout out. You're the fucking baddest motherfucker on the planet. You have a reason why
Shout
you
out.
have that as your nickname.
Hey,
Um,
hey, David Goggins is like, you gotta listen to that inner voice and say, quit being a little bitch. Get up and fucking
so
do it. You gotta be a fucking man.
dude, check out his story. But he's like saying that he was a fucking cockroach exterminator, okay, and he fucking hated his job. He didn't want to do this shit no more. He gets called out, and he fucking sees this shit, and it's the mother lode of all cockroach nests. He said, and he says he fucking hates cockroaches. So he fucking goes home. He's like, fuck this shit, I quit. But then he's like, what the fuck can I do? What am I gonna do? He's laying on the couch and he's playing fucking Hell Week, and he's seeing the fucking Navy SEALs, and they're saying how they're the fucking top of the top, and he's like, "Fuck, that's what I want to do. I want to be a Navy SEAL." So he goes there, and the dude says, "You need to lose 150 pounds." He's like, "Okay, I could do that." He goes home. He says, "All right, I'm gonna run down the fucking block and do all this stuff." But he says he runs down to the corner of the street to the stop sign and he walks back home and he lays on the couch and he cries and he's like, "I can't fucking do this. I'm a 350-pound loser. Can't fucking read. I can't write." And then he said, at this point, you have to realize, because he was blaming his dad that he couldn't read or write, but he's a man now. So who does he have to blame now? So he fucking starts teaching himself how to read and write. He fucking says, "Well, I can't run, but what can I do? I'm gonna get me a bike and I'm gonna fucking ride that bike." So he started riding that bike and he started getting into marathons and he fucking lost that weight, right? And he goes into the Navy. He goes through Hell Week, breaks his fucking legs and all this shit, gets a disease, almost dies. Fucking he gets to come back. So second time he becomes a Navy SEAL. Then he liked it so much and he liked pushing himself and he learned how to fucking steal people's souls. And he talks about it, how he learned about it from fucking Rocky, when fucking Apollo, when Apollo's like this, you know, after he beats the shit out of Rocky and Rocky's laying on the ground and Mickey's even telling him, "Stay the fuck down, you dumb motherfucker, stay down," right? And he's trying to get up. But then fucking when Apollo turns around and fucking Rocky stands up, he's like this. And he says that fucking look on his face, that's where you steal their soul. Doesn't matter if you won or you lose. You stole their soul. You stole their ambition, their motivation, everything. You won. You beat them. Mentally, you beat them. And so, like he said in Hell Week, these fucking dudes had come out that they're are they the colonels or whatever fucking and they'd be in their parkas, and it's raining and it's fucking cold, and you only get 7 hours of sleep throughout the entire week. And that's why it's called Hell Week. Well, there's this fucking thing you have to do, and you're throwing the boat up. And he said, "All right, let's steal these motherfuckers' souls." And they're like, "What?" And he says, "So we're gonna fucking press this boat. Every time we yell, we're gonna press it and throw it in the air." Because he says you have to run miles while doing this, holding the boat. But instead of just holding it, they're gonna fucking throw it, catch it, throw it, and catch it as they're screaming. And that's what they did. And he said when these motherfuckers standing there with their hot coffees and their parkas, and they looked at him like, "What the fuck are you?" He said, then that's how he knew they beat them. You wanted to break us, you wanted to beat us mentally, but we fucking broke you. And then he became the only human being to ever go through Hell Week 3 times in 1 year. Dude, he fucking runs 130 fucking mile marathons in less than 24 hours. Dude, he is, when they say he is the baddest motherfucker on the planet, they are not fucking playing. He just got his fucking pull-up record broken by Cam Hames' son. Dude, he's a beast. You gotta check him out. Shout out David Goggins.
Hey,
I guess so.
when you said Navy SEAL, all of a sudden my Newsweek notification came on here and it said former Navy SEAL got killed over in Taiwan.
How about that?
Nah, but dude, I'm telling you, Remo, there's no way
Coincidence.
you can't get inspired listening to him or listening to his freaking story. You'll be like, damn.
Yeah, I'll definitely check him out. Definitely gonna have to check him out. And on that note, I also would like to add, I'm grateful for like podcasts in general because of podcasts, I think like it gave me a whole new fandom and respect for my fandom of certain things. I think it gave me a new respect for like a self-help and self-improvement situation because there's a lot of that that's out there. You know what I mean? That's been available on podcasts. I think the entertainment value of podcasts and all the different avenues and types of things that you can do in this type of a medium has been inspiring and it's been cool. And I'm grateful for that, which led us to be able to feel like we would even be a possibility that we would be involved in something like that, which is pretty
Not
freaking cool.
even. I was podcasting before podcasting was podcasting in a motherfucking garage, homeboy.
Yeah, you know, like podcasting did take like that garage radio format, you know what I mean? That was actually a thing at a point in time, you know, and kind of flipped it on its head once the internet came through because then you could download episodes of shit. You know what I mean? It started, I don't know if podcasts all started on YouTube, but you know, I'm grateful that we have that and it's available to us, you know, because it's become something that you know, has been pretty cool for us.
If
No,
anybody
but
needs a Stranglemania type freaking announce team, holler at your boys. The hot tag, ready to jump in there. Fuck it. All I gotta say, you want us to dub your stuff and then do it with some freaking enthusiasm.
I'm down with it. And you know, if you need to do a little introductions too, you know, I'm also
We can
down with
even
that.
have a Doja 3-man team. Oh shit, I got a little bit of
Dang, this whole time you've been talking with that shit all up in your teeth. See, damn. You nasty, dirty little motherfucker.
what I get for hitting that
fire,
tooth.
fire. Oh
And Grim, I
shit,
didn't see nothing at all the whole time. I didn't see shit.
man! If people, if they're taking out your teeth, I take it as a compliment. I'm like, don't be looking at these ugly motherfuckers. I was gonna wear my grills too today.
Damn, you were in rapper mode, huh? Dang.
Yeah, I was gonna go. Hey, check these motherfuckers are tight. I don't know if you can really see them, but I fucking won them in an auction.
An auction, huh?
Yeah, the
Are you
police auctioned off all the drug dealers' jewelry and stuff. So I did a police auction and got
so,
them.
I just want to know, is that something you're grateful for?
Jewelry? No. Hey, well, but for I'll say this: the chain I'm wearing. I'll give a little story that will lead into the gratefulness. But this chain, and then there's a ring on here, and it's a lion Leo. But it was my uncle John's. He I got it when he passed away, the chain and the ring, and I hardly ever wear it because I mean it's a really nice chain and it's heavy and it's fucking yeah, it's pretty sick. But
Oh
I
yeah.
remember he had two of them, so my other cousin got one and I got one, and I also have his dog tags right here too. I just put them up in the studio, so they'll be in here rapping with me. But
Mm.
my uncle John uh died when I was really young. But he was one of my greatest inspirations when I was small, and he used to inspire me to push me to do stuff like. So he would like he'd wake me up like, "Hey Joey, let's go take pictures of the dam today and the lake and stuff." We're like, oh, all right. So we go out there and make a day out of taking pictures. Next day, or a couple of days. Hey Joey, let's go walk the mall down there in Las Cruces. All right, let's go. Like each day was like something like we'd go. But and that's me too. I just go, sporadic, sporadic, sporadic. Like last minute stuff. But at the time, I didn't know he was actually dying. Like so he was just trying to live life to the fullest up. But
Dang.
he is the so. Long story short, one of the funny things that he I was playing this arcade game and this I was I was fighting this girl and I won one, she won one, and then she won the best out of the three. She kicked my ass. And I walked back to my uncle all kind of like, damn, lost the shit. It was like Street Fighter or something. And he gives me a quarter and he goes, "Now you go back and you kick her butt, Joey." So, so like every, I got knocked down so many times. Like I always like to say, like I like to climb some mountain and just skydive right to the bottom, like deep down in a hole, and then I climb back up, like the climb, the journey. That's the fun part. But my uncle, he was a very inspired me. Photography, cooking, all kinds of shit. I could go on like all day about my uncle John.
Mm.
And I actually named my son after him, Juanito, which is my son's middle name. But yeah, I was like grateful to know him, and I was here in Tier C when he moved back to get to know him like really good the last months and years that he was here when he passed away and shit.
Well, good. I'm glad you got to spend that with him, bro. That's good.
Yeah, it was
So
he.
there was a movie that came out when Brandon and I were living together. Oh yeah, that's what it's called, The Peaceful Warrior. It's about a gymnast, okay? And something you said, Doja, that really reminded me of it, so I wanted to tell the story, okay? Is it's about Scott Meklowitz. He was a gymnast who was competing for the Olympics. He gets in a motorcycle accident and told he's never going to walk again. This is a true story. Meets this guy from a gas station, played by Nick Nolte, who he calls Socrates because he tells him all these things. So he starts training him and stuff and trying to get him back on his feet and get him back to a competing status, right? When he wants to give up on himself. So it's funny because there's this one day he says, "All right, you've come far along in your enough in your journey that I got something special for you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, what is it?" He says, "Well, we'll go there tomorrow. It's going to be a special trip and it's going to be awesome." So then they go, and the whole time he's like, "Are we there yet?" Like a little kid, "Are we there yet? Where's this thing?" And he's like, "No, we're not there yet." And when they get up to the top of the mountain, he's like, "Are we there yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're here." And he's like, "All right, where's this cool thing that you wanted to show me?" He's like, "It's right there. It's that rock." And he's all, "What the fuck? You brought me up here to show me a rock? Are you fucking kidding me?" He said, "What's wrong with you? You were all happy and you were all excited the whole time we were coming up here. But now all of a sudden you find out it's a rock and you're disappointed." And he said, "See, was the point was it's about the journey, not the end result." He said, "Because look how you were to get here." And he says, "And
Right.
look at all this beauty where you're at. So why are you so disappointed?" I fucking love that. So it just reminded me of what you had said, Doja. I had to tell this story, but Thought you
No, I
guys would
love
have
that.
seen
That's
it with
great.
me.
That's great. I like that, Grim. You've been kicking ass and adding a whole lot of really good stuff here today, bro. So that's dope. Thank you. I hope our listeners all appreciate that. Which takes me to my last thing that I'll share about gratitude real quick as we're coming down to like our last 10 minutes. Um, I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for you guys even allowing us to do this and to entertain anybody. I know we don't have a huge fan base or a big following or anything, but there are some of you that are very loyal to us, and I'm appreciative for that. Um, you guys, I hope we make you proud, and I hope that we give you some good stuff, and I hope that each episode gets better and better to you, like it feels like it does for us. You know, it feels like each episode we just keep growing and growing. So, thank you guys for being a part of it all. Um, I'm very grateful for all of you.
Yes, I am too. No matter how small or how big, you know what I mean. It's very special to us. All of your opinions, all of your thoughts. You know, when we hear that what we say or what we're doing helps you, that's very inspirational to us.
It is. It really is. I mean, we started all of this because of inspiration, because we were inspired and we wanted to help inspire as well. So, you know, it all just comes full circle a lot of times. You know what I mean? So we do appreciate that. You know, we're trying to be beacons of light as well. You know, because we all need them and we all have the opportunity to be one. So, you know, we're trying to do that. So thank you for allowing us that opportunity. Those, you got any last words of gratitude before we get into some of these ending credits?
Nah. Uh, um, I was gonna explain though when I earlier when I said I was podcasting before podcasting, I was talking about remember we used to do the interviews over there in the garage.
I wonder if he still has mine because that's the
Yeah.
only full length interview I ever did, and I don't even know how long it was
You
either.
what you want me to get it or what?
Get it, Mom. Get it. I'll use it.
Yeah,
I'll use it.
he has everything from every minute from all that time back then.
Please do.
So
I would love to have that.
because
And
he
thank
has
you
like
in advance. Thank you, Curtis. I appreciate you.
it's DJ Chai Flow.
Well, DJ Ty Flow, I would love
Oh,
to do another
Chi Flow.
Chai Flow, my
Chi
brother.
Flow, Chai
If
Flow.
you can get
You
down on
bro,
another one, I would love to.
fuck it. Bro, you would not I'll tell you in a little bit, but you would not believe what that fool's up to. but
So,
but uh,
Well, speaking of what people are up to, you guys got any plugs you want to throw in real quick before we get into our shout outs? Doge.
all right, so I guess Friday the 13th I'm gonna release the Days Go By music video, which will be Jay Swerve featuring So Doja, but it's a very controversial song, so I'll probably get flagged and in a lot of trouble for it right away. But that's just like my style anyway. So pretty soon I'm gonna start a website so I could have a platform to put all this shit on, so they don't get all mad because I was watching the debate and I happened to videotape it. But and I don't get copyright issues, you know. So because I've been fighting these fucks for like years. But anyways, I got an I did a spur of the moment. What's that called? Episode 3 came out. I watched the actual debate before you watch it all edited on there. I did it live, and hey, check this out. You guys will understand this. So I had two phones, two cameras, and I couldn't go live at first. And I'm supposed to be able to go live on all my platforms. Uh, I'm talking YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. Couldn't go live on anything. Uh, my camera storage fucked up when I was videotaping. I had to go to a different phone, and then when I went back into the other phone, I was had 30 gigabytes still open, so there's no reason for it to stop and shut off recording while I was doing it. So I didn't get like completely every minute of it, and then my internet went out, and,
Of
and so
course, they're not gonna let you freaking get higher views than a freaking their biggest show on their stage.
yeah, but uh, um, I just thought it'd be kind of funny. I don't know. Like I said, I like to do shit sporadic. I just got some wild hair up my ass and said, "Hey, it'd be kind of cool to watch it and go live with people, like on Facebook or something, and we could all watch it together." But like I said, everything went backwards. But I was able to record it. I was up editing that shit till midnight. I had to wake up at like 5:30, fucking for work. I was uploading it. They analyzed it for like 2 hours, which is like takes a long time. Like they usually don't analyze it that long. Then I got all kinds of slaps with copyrights and shit in the morning, and I was just like, "Well, I'm not trying to make money off of it. It was just me kind of saying whatever on there. But check it out, everybody. Then I'll drop the music video on Friday. That'll be another controversial thing. It's
Well,
just controversial over here, buddy. And it's not intentionally. I don't think. Maybe.
what do you mean? It wouldn't happen any other way. Not intentionally.
I'm just putting the truth out. What the fuck?
Sweet Doge. Hey, Grit, what about you, my brother? You got anything you want to plug?
No, nothing at the moment.
We didn't get to do a hot tag this week, and that's my fault. I apologize. I had prior commitments. I had other things going on, so we didn't really get into any of that this week. So next week we'll pick it back
Oh,
up.
speaking of
Yes.
that, I found out on my Hulu, it has all the wrestling stuff on there.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
But
Salute to our
that's what I found out about them in Denver. I was like, what? I was
We
like,
don't want to talk about it. We're still.
salute to our asswives out there making the world a less shitty place. But I want to say that, for those that have enjoyed those little vignettes at the beginning of our hot tags we've been doing lately, I had a special one planned this week due to a certain someone having made an appearance on the premiere Raw for the new era. And maybe we'll get into that another time, and maybe we'll be able to use it on another episode.
Sounds great to me. I can't wait. That's gonna be awesome. So, like Grim was saying, like I was saying, we'll be back next week with another hot tag. Hopefully, earlier in the week. We're trying to get a new schedule going down with our recording, so we'll do that, and then I think we will hopefully get our redo of what today should have been at that point. I don't know. We'll see. We might have to reshuffle the deck a little bit for this month. So we'll see what happens. But we will be back next week with the brand new episode of the Dro Bro Show. But for Grimex and Soul Doja, this is Mr. Vicious Remo Vinci signing off for the Dro Bro Show, episode 28. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're very grateful for y'all. This has been I'm very grateful for this episode. So thank y'all. Peace out.
peace
Bye,
out,
guys.
everybody.